So tell me this, were you the kid in school that was always the top of your class and everyone around you, family, friends, teachers, were always hyping you up about how smart you were, how you were gonna go far in life, how you were destined for greatness because you were just so great and it barely took you any effort. You were just floating through life, not really trying, but still doing really great anyway. And you were led to believe that you had this kind of innate greatness about you that was gonna last you forever. And then you graduate from school and then you get hit with the real world and realize there's no one around praising you anymore. And then you start to realize that life really does require effort that you don't really know how to put in because you were never really taught to do that. And so you spend your life kind of avoiding challenge and staying in your comfort zone and not really knowing what you want to do or why, because you don't really know who you are, because your entire personality growing up kind of revolved around the fact that you were this gifted kid. And now that you're an adult and are realizing that's not really true, you kind of don't know who you really are or what you're supposed to do with your life. And then that causes you to sink into this existential spiral where you're like, what am I doing here? What do I have to offer? Do I have anything to offer? If that sounds like you, this is the right video for you. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So in case you have not yet realized, this video is going to be all about gifted kid burnout or gifted kid syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Same thing, same problem. And this is actually apparently a really common problem, so common that they created a bingo meme out of it that has now gone viral. Extremely relatable, first of all, but like, I feel like a lot of us are going through this, and so we should talk about it. We should talk about what's really going on up here that causes gifted kid syndrome and why people are really struggling right now in their life, coming to terms with the fact that we should not have been hyped up the way we were when we were younger. Definitely not. So let's talk a little bit about what happens to a child who is kind of put in a situation where they're being praised by everybody around them for what they perceive to be an innate talent. You know, this could be intelligence, creativity, athletic ability, whatever the case. People are hyping them up, and they're not hyping up the fact that they put effort into getting where they are. No, they're hyping up the fact that, oh my God, you're just so smart and you don't even have to try. So then this child forms this association in their mind that I don't have to try to do well because I was just born with it. And everyone knows it. And I'm just kind of floating through life and doing great. And I will continue to do that forever. Like I said though, what ends up happening is they leave school, they join, college or the workforce or whatever they choose to do after school. And then they realize in the real world, people aren't really there to praise you, and no one is there to give you a gold star, and no one cares about your innate talents, and effort is the only thing that matters. Effort is what gets you places. But the issue is those kids were never taught to put in effort, and effort was never really rewarded. And so now they're adults and have no idea how to really stick something out if it's the tiniest bit difficult, which obviously leads to a big dilemma because nothing in life is not difficult, and so they just end up stuck. They'll try all these new things, but if it doesn't come easily to them right away when they first start, they'll be like, this isn't for me. I'm just not good at this. Because again, they have this association that anything they're good at must already be in them. Otherwise, they just don't have it. A recipe for disaster. Let's talk about what's happening in technical terms. The psychologist named Carol Dweck did a lot of research on mindsets, and she coined two terms: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And whether or not you have either of these mindsets is going to determine a lot about your life. It's going to determine a lot about you as a person and what you're able to do and how you're able to function. So people with a fixed mindset believe that you're born with your talents and that's it. You've got them for life, you can't change, you can't improve, like you either have it or you don't have it and that's it. Versus people who have the growth mindset who believe that change is always possible and that effort is actually what causes a difference. Whether or not you have an innate ability, the amount of effort you put into a task, into a project, into a decision, into, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, that is what is going to determine whether or not you succeed versus an innate ability. So obviously people with a growth mindset are more likely to take on challenge, are more likely to take risks, are more likely to step out of their comfort zone, try new things, because they're not bound by this idea that they need to be good at everything right away. They're not bound by the idea that other people need to be praising you in order for you to know that you're doing a good job. They're not. They firmly believe that the amount of effort you put into something is proportional to the amount of success you're going to have. And it takes people far in life to have that mindset. And that's the reason why all these kids or adults now are really struggling, because they're not able to take risks. They're not able to step out of their comfort zone. They want to keep doing the things they know they're good at, so it doesn't have to completely shatter their self-image and completely shatter their confidence, because right now their entire identity is built upon the fact that I'm good at this and I'm good at this and I'm good at this, and that's that. And so if anything even slightly challenges that, it messes them up. It messes them up big time, and they can't deal with it. But at the same time, they always have this idea in the back of their mind of this like large untapped potential that they know that they probably should try to tap into it, but at the same time it's too scary, because what if they fail? So obviously it's not a good state to be in. It isn't healthy. It doesn't get you places. You're kind of just stuck really in a delusion, to be honest. You're kind of deluding yourself into thinking that you're still that kid that's being put on a pedestal, really. But this is the real world, man. No one is putting you on a pedestal. No one cares. No one cares that you used to be smart in high school. No one cares that you used to be super talented at something and now you aren't anymore. And I'm saying this to myself too, because I definitely am a person that has this problem. So if this is you and you find yourself relating to any of this, it is so vital, like as soon as you can, because like life is short, man. You do not want to spend your life just kind of trapped in this box in your head of like what you can and can't do. Now is the time to change that. Now is the time to start tapping into that growth mindset where you're not bound by what people used to say about you. You're not bound by all these expectations your parents had of you. You're not bound by any of that. There comes a time when you need to stop using your innate talents as a crutch, because they're not going to get you through your life forever. They're not. Effort is what's going to get you through. There's a lot of articles online about how you can start to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. I can make a whole video about it, because honestly, it's so fascinating to me, the psychology behind it, and I think it would be really helpful for me as well to research that. So let me know if you guys would be interested, I don't know, in that. I'll link some articles down below also about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, so you can educate yourself a little bit on what's going on in your head, why you're doing things the way that you're doing them, why you're struggling so much and can't seem to get yourself to commit to things and really tap into your fullest potential. And you're not gifted anymore. You're just a normal person. If you want to be extraordinary, you got to work for that. You got to put in the effort and push yourself to become that extraordinary version of you that you want to be. It's not going to come to you easily like it did when you were a kid, because you were a kid back then. You were being coddled. Everything was easier. It's going to take some time for you to adjust to that, because again, we never learned. We never learned how to put in effort for anything. Things just kind of came to us. But at some point, you need to learn how to work hard for things, how to try despite failing, and to not be completely turned off by failure, and to accept failure, and to welcome failure, and to welcome challenge, and to welcome risk, and to welcome all of that, because that is what's going to make you grow. That's what's going to make you extraordinary. There is nothing in this world that cannot be mastered if you just try enough. If you practice it enough times, there is nothing that you cannot do. And when you start to believe that and you start to practice that and live by that, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. No more gifted kid burnout. No more existential crisis. No more. So I think that should be our goal for 2021. I'm including myself in this equation. Put more effort. Things take time. Things are not going to change overnight, but you can do it. I hope this was helpful, or at the very least relatable, because I know a lot of people are going through this. I feel you. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm really glad you watched anyway. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.